Hello once again to another fight in the Ultimate Contest. Bit of a weird one this time. Not only are we post-commentating with the recording being provided by Mr. Wick, we also have a match that was technically illegal. A little bit unfortunate here, but at the time of challenging, Vishy, the challenger, was rank 4. Challenged Mr. Wick at rank 2, but right before their match finished, Skylork managed from rank 6, if I'm not mistaken. No, from rank. Let me do it correctly. Skylark from rank 5 won against the rank 3, which pushed Vishy down to rank 5, which means that he is not able to challenge Mr. Wick at this time, so we are considering this a show match. And we're already off with a Punari versus Hunter in the serious system. Quick stun once the Punari AB is in, and Vishy gonna walk out of range. Still in stun range though. Ooh, gets a dome off as well. That's gonna allow him to stay in range. And Vishy is double stunned. He might just die here and not be able to get the RD off in time. Yep. Very close one that Mr. Wick manages to get that dome off there. That's quite difficult to pull off. You have to be really fast with it. But Mr. Wick off to a quick 1-0 victory. So yeah, Mr. Wick is, at the time of playing, thinking that he is defending his spot. So he's up 1-0. We are just playing a normal best of 7. Doing it for the fans, you know. That's what we're here for. And Vishy with a quick pick for his next system, deciding to go Soul. And yeah, Vishy not improving on his reputation of late RDing. Having a little bit of a reputation for pressing his 3 button just slightly too late, slightly on the late side. But I can appreciate a player who is willing to take some risks. So always a joy to see Vishy play, in my opinion. Very good player. I don't want to downplay him and say that he makes mistakes. Being risky isn't a mistake in most cases, and Vishy has provided some very, very close fights to basically all the opponents he's fought. Definitely stepping up during this contest and showing off that he is one of the best PvPers on this server, if not in the whole game. Obviously, we don't have that much knowledge about the PvP levels of other servers. Although I think it's pretty obvious that Ascon has the best PvPers. I think we can all agree on that. Totally not playing into the fact that my viewers for this video are going to be almost exclusively from the Ascon server. If you're watching this at a later time and you happen to be playing on a different server than Ascon, you're playing on the wrong server. Come join Ascon, it's better. We're looking at Soul now, and not Podata, that was the previous match. Mr. Wick with a Chromium against the Hunter of Vishy. So quite an interesting match, I think. I still feel like on paper the Chrome should be a decent counter for the Hunter, but the results don't agree with me, which is unfortunate to admit, but you know, sometimes you gotta swallow the pill. And yeah, so far historically in the contest of the matches that I've analyzed anyway, the Chromium at a pretty miserable win rate. There are very few ships with a worse win rate than the Chrome, but we'll see. 1 OS is all it takes. I'll just say it that way. 2 blasters. At the end of this AB, Vishy is going to get OS. So he puts the RD up, and yeah, Mr. Wick walks out of range. Gonna try to kite out the RD a little bit. Gets stunned. Just puts the prot here. And Vishy is just trying to kill the magnet trap. Puts his buffs up for it, but gets OS'd and might just get blastered down here, honestly. Doesn't have his defense anymore. Doesn't have the AB either, and yeah, that's it. Hunter armor is not good enough for that. I don't think he could get away with killing the trap there. He at least needed to put the buffs a little bit earlier. Then maybe you kill it on time, but yeah, very risky play, and the Hunter really, if you don't manage to get a good range exploit, I don't think you have that much of a chance, honestly. You have to. I think as soon as the range exploits gets broken, or even if you see that it's gonna be broken, you just have to put your buffs up, and that's the only way you're gonna win that fight, because the OS is. It just forces you to RD way too early. If that OS threat wasn't there, you could save your RD for 30, even 20%. But because of the OS, you gotta put it at 70%, not a second later, because that OS hits really hard on the Hunter's low armor. So, yeah, Mr. Wick with some good plays and leads the series 2-0 now. Vishy goes back to Sirius with his pick. And we'll see what he brings out. It looks like Mr. Wick is hovering a Punari. Taking a Hunter. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Thinking about it, scrolling through the list. And a Marlstone. Looks like we're gonna see some Marlstone plays. And Mr. Wick is an incredible Marlstone player. Really, really good at the ship. I should know. But yeah, people give me credit for playing Marlstone quite well. I think Wick does it better than me, honestly. He's insane on this ship. In most matches he plays, he has a lot more, how do I say, current PvP experience than I do. I have a lot of my experience at this point is quite outdated. It's from too long ago. But this isn't about me, this is about Vishy versus Wick. And I'm quite curious what Vishy is playing. Probably a Hunter, that's what I think Mr. Wick is expecting. You don't really want to play the Marlstone into that much else. It is going to be the Marl Hunter. Marl Hunter is a really interesting matchup. I really, really like it. It's one of my favorite matchups in the game. Not to play, I should say. Playing this matchup is a nightmare, because it's a really difficult matchup for both ships. There's a lot of brain power required for getting this done properly, but with some good plays, the Marlstone, I think I would almost say has a slight advantage. It depends a little bit. And Vishy saying the Emperor is too risky. Vic replying it's not risky, only the Hunter beats it. Yeah, I think there's more than 50% chance that your opponent picks a Hunter, just going on the base stats. I'd need to grab the list. Actually, I will do that after this match and give you some minor stats on that before I make wild claims. But let's take a look here. Marlstone versus Hunter. Should be interesting. It can end quite quickly though. Depends a little bit. Marlstone, one of very few ships that is able to just stand up to a Hunter and man fight it at times. Vishy, yeah, if this is a man fight, Vishy has already kind of messed it up. You want to put your buffs quite early on that. But Vishy going for a stun and walk out. He stays quite close, which is very dangerous. Because, I mean, he wants to leverage his range exploit, which is a good idea. But he's at low health. Mr. Wick gonna try to walk in a little bit. Work towards getting his RD back. Fishy puts the RD up. That's a little bit risky. He needs to RD. Yeah, okay, so he just preemptively AB. He's not risking it. And we'll see if Mr. Wick wants to go for a chase. Does go for it, okay. If he somehow catches Vishy, Vishy is pretty dead. But the Hunter is the faster ship, and there was already a decent amount of distance, so gonna turn back, and Vishy has won himself 17% HP with this move. Now leading slightly, and we'll see if Mr. Wick wants to reset for it, or if not. Looks like he's still just flying forward, trying to go for an engage. Has the RD now. Doesn't seem like he wants to put it. So he still wants to take the fight despite being down a little bit on HP. AB in to break the range exploit. Actually switching to the division drone when he's ABing in. Normally you'd want the Stun. Fishy. Gonna try to walk out. And yeah, he does get it off. RD drone. Switched in. Division drone. Yeah, Mr. Wick switching a little bit back and forth with that. Ooh. He's trying to wiggle into range. One stun dome is all he needs here, but Vishy doing a very good job keeping his distance so far. Does have the slightly faster ship, and Mr. Wick can't afford to do this very long. He takes a few too many snipers, and that's game over for him. If he needs to commit the shield for a defense here, then he's in big trouble. ABM once more, going for an early stun dome now. And Fishy this time not putting a late RD, just throws it out. Wick needs to charge his shield. 6%. Does he have an Ifrit on this ship? If he has an Ifrit, then yeah, he does have an Ifrit. That's a problem for Vishy. Vishy needs to put his actuator and break the shield pronto, because stun counter stun. Vishy has an AB. Mr. Wick doesn't yet, but he will get it very soon, and still has half a shield, still has kinda has all of the good tools that he needs. I think he gets in range because Fishy was stunned during the AB and Mr. Wick won't be. It looks like he's in AB distance. Let's see, if Wick catches him with this AB, that's probably game, but he needs to get in blaster range. He doesn't have a stun available. He does get in blaster range, and I think that's just GG. Yeah, Fishy doing some desperate moves, trying to wiggle himself out of blaster range somehow, but blaster miss, blaster hit. There we go. Mr. Wick for a 3-0 lead. Complaining about the miss in the end there, which is justified. He would have gotten it first, but yeah, Mr. Wick is correct there. The RD was not that far away for Vishy, but just barely. Yeah, one more miss would have killed Wick there, but that's a very low chance to miss that many times in a row. And we'll see, Mr. Wick with the 3-0 lead. We'll see what Vishy decides to go for. Draco, question mark? He is allowed to pick, he doesn't need to put a question mark there, but yeah. We're going into Draconis. So let's see what sort of ships we're gonna see for Draconis. I'm not 100% sure what ships these players have available. I'll be honest, Mr. Wick I believe has almost all ships, or at least all of the meta PvP ships for Draconis. Looks like he's thinking about taking a Chrome, or he might just be moving all of his ships to level 70 to make sure his opponent can't see. Yeah, flexing his ship collection a little bit. Disruptor, yeah, play Disruptor, I dare you. You'd be the first. No, you wouldn't actually. Hardy has done it before. And Mr. Wick saying he's ready. It looks like he's just gonna go for the milestone once more. And we'll see. I don't think Fishy has an Emperor in Draconis, but I could be wrong. He has Emperor in multiple systems. I just don't think Draconis. And outside of Emperor, countering the milestone, not the easiest thing to do. The Punari can do it. He might have a Punari in Draconis. I believe I've seen him in one. But let's take a look. There's a good chance that it's just a Hunter again. Let us see. Let us see. Okay, there we go. You're killing me, Vishy. And it's a Hunter. Picking Hunter 4 times in a row is Vishy. Refusing to stray even an inch from the meta. And yeah, all the power to him. But as we saw in the last match, Mr. Wick quite good at killing Hunters with his milestone. So we'll see if he can do it again. Maybe yes, maybe no. But let us take a look. Even in the last match, it was quite close, as Mr. Wick said. Like one more miss, and he would have lost that fight. But I think in Hunter versus Milestone, the Ifrit makes a really big difference, because even if the Hunter also has an Ifrit, you can't really maintain being at low HP in a Hunter. The Marlstone can stay at low HP for quite a while by using the shield. We see an AB in, a stun, and a counter dome, and then an AB out by Fishy. So looks like Fishy once again trying to leverage his range exploit. Ooh, gets stunned. That's rough. That's very rough. So we'll see what Mr. Wick decides on now. Stun first. Is he gonna go for the shield and the Ifrit play? Fishy. Ooh, hoo, hoo, just barely gets his RD off in time. And Mr. Wick, yeah, seeing that he should be going, I agree with this play, he's going for like a kill order, which starts with the RD, that's the best play you can make. And then puts the shield quite early on. He could have waited until he was back in Ifrit range. Puts an AB ahead of time, making sure Fishy can't escape, and kills him right before his stun comes off cooldown. So, pretty decisive victory on that one, just doing a killing order, as I like to call it, like an item order that just wins the game outright. And yeah, Mr. Wick also saying not Fishy not having a good day. I do think he played some good matches. Pretty interesting. We finally get to see some Marl v Hunter. Match has been quite absent so far. And like I promised, let me just real quick grab some stats. Nah, it's not quite that Hunter has been picked twice as much as all other ships combined, but it gets close. The Hunter has been picked more than twice as much as the number 2 ship in the games that I've analyzed. So yeah, picking the Emperor is risky in that regard. So that's just a little bit of background information for you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this little show match. Mr. Wick winning 4-0 against Vichy, and I will catch you on the next one.